and other stakeholders or partners in the house. Today is such an important day for us as we witness something special for this bag. It's a leadership transition, of course, from our beloved outgoing MD, who we've had to walk this journey with for the last close to 16 years. But again, of course, handing over to an incoming MD, Mr. Godfrey Biekwasu, and we are very excited for what is coming ahead. So today's program is going to be very simple. It's going to be a very short engagement. We'll have a prayer and anthem as usual. We'll have a center prayer, center anthem. We'll do some introductions of the media houses. Then before I can hand over to Mr. Chamtetera, who I will introduce later on. So without any further ado, let's have rise up for center prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Mighty and ever-living God, we come before you in humility with a contrite and trusting heart to place our Centenary Group family into your hands. Thank you for blessings, opportunities, and for your providence. Dedicate our shareholders, board of directors, management, and staff to your loving care and mercy. Holy Spirit, fill us with your wisdom to be responsible stewards. Give us good health to serve you, our customers, and our communities for the good of our institution and your glory. May we always reflect our core values, mission, and vision. O Lord, may we never retard or stand still, that this brand born in our church will stretch and serve the whole world with creative and innovative products and services. So it says, authorities and stakeholders in the markets where we operate. Merciful Father, when duty calls us to be away from our families, may our work yield joy, abundance, and favor. Almighty God, may your work as you design to bring us peace, prosperity. Do not forsake us, deliver us to the eternal kingdom. Amen. Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right, we'll do the center anthem. We'll do just the first stanza. DJ, you lead us in the center anthem. Or maybe do we sing it? All right. Centenary, centenary, the bank for all, we will keep standing tall. You will never fall, you will never fall, because you are nurtured by God. Center of superior service, place of excellence. Measure your competence. The sky is the limit for you. Centenary, centenary. The bank for all, you will keep standing tall. You will never fall. You will never fall, because you are nurtured by God. Thank you very much. Let's take our seats. Again, I would like to welcome you all to this engagement. Our MDs, you're most welcome. Executive Director, Business and Operations, you're most welcome. Members of EXCO, you're all welcome to this engagement. And members of the press, we welcome you today at Mapera House. As we go to the next part of the agenda, of course, we have different houses, media houses in the building. We have BBS, we have Vision Group, we have all media houses in the building. Allow me at this moment to just welcome our moderator for today's engagement, Mr. Chamtetera Muhereza, who all of you know very well. Mr. Chamtetera is a very senior business journalist and executive editor of the CEO Africa magazine. Mr. Chamtetera is not very new to Centenary's story. He's been covering the growth of this bank from 2003. That's such a long time. So he has great memory of how this bank has transitioned and grown up to where it stands today. Of course, he has had an opportunity to see how our outgoing MD has managed to transition to this bank to the heights that he has reached. So Mr. Chamtetera, I welcome you to this engagement, and please take over from there. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Emma, for this opportunity. And once again, I must say I'm privileged to moderate this event. I also must say, by the way, I'm breaking records. This is my very first time I'm moderating such an event. So I hope after now, if I do a good job, I can be able to increase my rate card. Yeah, but yes, like you mentioned, I have had a chance to cover the Centenary Bank story since 2003 when I worked with the Daily Monitor. And I've seen this bank grow, so for me, this is yet another great opportunity. And I was thinking through the history, and I remembered a Q&A we did with Fabian in December 2010 for the CEO East Africa magazine, because I think he joined in August. And there is a question I asked him, and I think I need to ask Godfrey today as well. I asked him that why should the customers be happy that you are now at the helm of the business? And this is what he said. He said that Centenary Bank customers should be happy that they are banking with a bank which is the fastest growing local bank, that is serving all the sectors of the economy, most actively involved in financing agriculture with diverse products, including loans, money transfer services, savings, electronic banking products, and most importantly, the only indigenous bank being led and managed by Ugandans who understand their financial needs. And ladies and gentlemen, today I'm here to say all the things he promised and he said then, nothing has changed actually. I think it has gotten better. And more importantly, the fact that we still get to see Ugandans being in charge of their thing. Like Ugandans like to say. And when I see the front seat here, I think it's one of those most beautiful stories that we as Ugandans must be very proud of. Before we dig in deep, I remember another conversation we had in the newsroom at Monitor. There used to be a time in this country when people believed that that Ugandans are not capable of leading themselves, especially when it comes to the private sector. And there was even an allegation that a certain country in the neighborhood, one person from that country could do the work of 6 Ugandans. And I remember having a big argument in the boardroom and in the newsroom, and I asked them, if they are that very good, how come that their GDP is not 6 times bigger than our GDP? So, and I think for me, when we see such conversations happening, such transitions happening, when we see the leaders like we have, like Fabian, being able to run, our own bank and grow it this much, it only really does us proud. And of course, there's been a lot of training of people. As you may know, as Godfrey will tell us, this is not the first time he's leading. He has actually had the chance to be exported to another country where he has also done us very proud. So I think it is a time for us to be happy, and I hope this happiness will be reflected in the stories that we put out there. So as it is right and fitting that I think now that we have a new host, I think the first question for me straight away is going to be about Godfrey. Godfrey, before we start asking you other questions, I think it's important that we get to know you more than our the new sheriff in town, what other interesting things do you want us to know about you before we can move ahead? Thank you.
Okay, I think you fondly refer to as Cham.
Yes.
So allow me to call you Cham.
And I must put a disclaimer, I don't own Cham Towers.
Yeah, thank you, Cham, and good morning, colleagues. Good morning, our guests, the media. Yes, first of all, I would like to thank the board and the shareholders for giving me this responsibility of running or being the captain of the leading indigenous bank in Uganda. Yes, as you've heard, my name is Godfrey Byekwaso, and I'm proudly Ugandan. I am a chartered accountant by training, and I'm a member of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda and a fellow of the ACCA. I'm also an alumni of Makerere University. I've been serving in this market for some good decades. But more important is that I've been in the financial services sector for over 2 decades. And having started my career in the financial sector in 2004. I've also been a teacher for about 2 decades as well. So some people call me professor, they call me their teacher, because for some years I was at Makerere University Faculty of Commerce and then Makerere University Business School. I've been with Centenary Bank or Centenary Group for now 14 years. Out of those 11, I was with the Centenary Bank, and 3 years I was out, as you've mentioned. I was in Malawi, opening up the Centenary Group outside Uganda. And I'm proud that I was the first Ugandan to be exported out of Centenary Group to go and serve outside this country. So that is who I am. My leadership is being a leader for, can I say, over 25 years. I've been a leader at Makerere University Business School. When I left, I had served as head of accounting department. I've been a leader at Uganda Blood Transfusion Service. I've been a leader at DataFigure, ICPA Farm. I've been a leader at Finca. I've been a leader at the USAID. I've been a leader at Centenary Bank. So my leadership spans those couple of years. And obviously, as I've picked quite a lot in this journey that I believe has helped me to be where I am today and will continue to guide my journey as a leader in the bank. Yeah, so that is who I am.
Okay, thank you very much. And I see you're trying to be humble because I know that you, for example, being the CFO of the year, and I know when you went to Malawi, you helped turn around the bank and made it more profitable. So you actually made it profitable. So I think you need to be more proud about those, because the press have to get those facts. Because if we don't hear them from you, when I write about them, they say sometimes I could be lying. So sometimes sometimes the press people don't trust us. So I think it's always good. This is time for you to be able to talk about that. But I think there's something I find very, very interesting about the 2 leaders. I'm aware that Fabian has also been a teacher before. I used to teach in Makerere. Maybe I should also be a teacher so that I could be the next. Yeah, but maybe before we go to Fabian, maybe you could tell us. Of course, the bank has been growing. It's it's the largest bank, indigenous owned, and it's large in many other instances. for you as a person, what excites you particularly this time that you are joining, and what are some of the things you would love to preserve, maybe adjust a bit to make the growth accelerate a little bit more faster?
All right, thank you very much. Well, first of all, what excites me that we are having the change when everything is going well. Normally, change happens when something has broken. But in our case, nothing has broken. So I'm excited for that. I must thank Fabian for being a good captain and handing over a ship that is not docking, but rather
In the waters.
continuing to sail. So that I'm very excited about. And what we need to preserve is really what has made this bank successful. Because the bank is built on trust. And no wonder when it started as a trust. And not just now it's not just the name trust, but it is translated into its culture that it's really. So that to me is one thing that has made the bank a success. And I like to say that among the things that we should preserve, and I will endeavor to preserve, is that trust that the customer have in the bank. And that trust comes with our promise, because trust has come because we've been able to deliver our promise. And that promise comes in the purpose of the bank. So a bank that is indigenous, but more so that is looking to transformation of lives through provision of inclusive and innovative financial solutions. That is what we have promised, and I believe we have delivered on that promise. So that purpose has to be preserved. We also need to preserve the values that of the bank. You know, it's a church-founded institution, and you know, for the church, integrity is key. We have to work to deliver as professionals. We have to work as a team. So we have to collaborate with other partners to be able to deliver on what we have. So those values that have helped the bank to grow and deliver to where we are need to be preserved. But also, looking at the culture, I know you've heard, since you've been with the bank, we have a ego pose culture. That needs to be preserved. But because we are there for the people, more important in those culture is the customer centricity. Being able to deliver to the customer what they want, but also being able to listen to them and be able to develop products, improve our services that is really tailored for the customer. So those are the things that I think we need to preserve. The purpose for existence, the values, the culture, and above all, the trust that we've built. In terms of what needs to be accelerated, we definitely live in operate in a dynamic environment. And we now know that the customers now want speed service, convenient service, and therefore we need to accelerate our delivery of that good customer experience. We need to accelerate the speed of our service. We need to accelerate the efficiency with which we deliver this service. But above all, we also have to embrace technology. We have to digitally innovate. We have to use technology to enhance the services that we do. Of course, in there, we have to make sure that the technology is not just convenient, but it's also simple and secure. So those are the things that we need to really look at and make sure that we accelerate. Maybe also, one thing that has learned through over time is that banking, yes, it's about trust, but you cannot have trust without the people. So the other aspect that we shouldn't leave out as we accelerate the growth is the people development, because that also helps us to continue to deliver the trust that the customers expect, the customer experience that I've talked about, as well as the technology. All these cannot happen if the people development is left behind.
Okay, thank you very much, Godfrey. I think that was very elaborate, preserving, the purpose, the trust, the values, and the culture. And speaking of culture, I found something interesting. About 3 months ago, I was interviewing the head of HR for the bank, and I was trying to understand what it takes to run all these people and keep them performing. And she introduced me to something called the Kaduka philosophy, where he said, as in every person who runs the Kaduka, those small kiosks. Have you ever walked into a shop and wondered how this trader knows where each and every small thing is in that, where every coin is? And it's like, as leaders in the bank, every leader has got to be able to account for their people, look out for that one person to the last bit. And I found that was very interesting. And I know, having been a journalist as well, you rarely find banks, organizations that even have in-house prayers where they pray for all their stakeholders, except that I was listening to hear the prayer about journalists. I think, yeah, I think we need to be specific and put a clause on journalists that you can pray when there is a press conference, so that we feel like you're looking out for the journalists. But okay, anyway, moving over to Fabian. Of course, he said he's happy to enter at a time when the ship, is running fast. And of course, there's this saying that if it's not broken, don't fix it. So speaking to you, Fabian, why, if things are not broken, why are you trying to fix them? You are still running, running good. And of course, why do you feel this is the right moment? Are you confident that this is the right, place to be? And there could be other people out there wondering and saying, everything was moving well. If things were not okay, I had my Gambanogu Fabian, I could call him. So give us some little perspective, the thinking around this whole transition.
Well, thank you very much, Cham. Good morning, everybody. Change is a constant. When we are given institutions to lead, we don't own them, but rather we are supposed to steward them and ensure that we leave them in a better state than we found them. And indeed, that defines sustainability, that defines succession, and of course, mere change of people, leaders, shouldn't be the key thing. But what is most important is the continuation of the values, the continuation of the DNA of the institution, and through this transition, it is something that is being affirmed. So I'm happy that we are affirming continuity of the institution. I'm happy that we are affirming sustainability of this institution. Having been around for over 40 years, we found it there. We've added, whatever contribution we have. And of course, there's always a need to have other people come in and also continue to contribute to the growth of that one institution. For us, we are many. We keep coming in and go. But we have one institution, whose values we all know. It was founded to serve especially those who are excluded from the banking space. And I believe the institution has been able to do very well. But of course, that doesn't mean that it stops here. It is continuing, and it will continue to deliver on the aspirations of the founders of that institution.
This is for me. This is a personal question. Do you nowadays sleep better knowing that nobody's going to call you? Some things. How does it feel like in semi retirement?
Well, it feels, of course, it feels you are changing from one chapter to the other, and every chapter has its own challenges and you know, good things about it. So I'm now in another chapter, which I'm beginning to write.
Okay.
I'm excited. I want to see how I'll be able to bring it similar to the one that I've closed. So I'm changing places. I'm changing steps. I'm changing you know, the way I've been working. I've been leading with the team. I'm now moving to other things. They could be personal, they could be private, but that is the chapter that I'm beginning now to write, and it is different and it is exciting.
Okay, and speaking of chapters and pages, you know I'm a good writer, so should you need anyone to write the new chapter? My number hasn't changed. Okay, cool. And maybe also just to understand, and I'm sure, I mean, the bank had very many capable people, and then I think you must be spoiled for choice looking at the Exco. But just to get an understanding of, and I know you worked with Godfrey before in very many other areas, including the bank. And what would you say were the qualities that the bank, and of course, I'm sure you must have headed the executive recruitment. What are some of the qualities and values you saw in him that made you choose him and be comfortable to hand over the mantle to him?
Well, the bank has a process of you know, ensuring succession, and especially at this executive level. So that process was carried out. You know, calling on whoever thinks, you know, will be able to carry on with the leadership, and of course Godfrey happened to be among them, and of course before the board, he distinguished himself as one, you know, who would make the best choice for the leadership and the continuation of this institution. Of course, as he has mentioned, he is qualified. He's a chartered accountant. He has led. He has also read. He has experience. As you heard, he was here leading our finance function for almost 10 years. Then he went abroad to lead another institution in another environment, which the board believed all those were values that you know, you would be bringing to the table as a new leader. And in the minds of the board, in my mind, there's no doubt that you'll be able to lead this institution to the levels where everybody expects or wants this institution to go. So we wish him well. As I said, you know, he has done it before, and I don't think he will have any problem continuing to, you know, lead this ship forward.
Interesting. So back to Godfrey. Of course, as a new leader, we all have very many expectations, and of course, I believe most of those expectations have to be framed within the purpose of the bank, which is transform lives through inclusive and innovative financial solutions. Thinking for the stakeholders out there, beginning with the journalists and the farmers, the SMEs, the women, the young people, and all the other wider stakeholder audience of the bank. Why should we be excited that we have you on board, and what can we expect out of you?
Thank you once again. As I said earlier, the bank's purpose, vision, enshrined in vision and mission is very, very clear. It's about transformation of lives. It's about financial inclusion. It's about innovative financial solutions. And as we all know, Centenary Bank is our bank. It's a bank for those that are not bankable. And the people that you list in there are people who categorize as people who are the core of the services that the bank is delivering. So if you talk about the farmers, then what is their interest? Their interest is about timely financial solutions, because they have seasons, they have targets to make sure that their crops or animals are well. So that continues to be the promise, because we have lived it, and we will continue to live it. So timely delivery of financial solutions to them as farmers. If you talk about the youth, they are entrepreneurial, and we know Uganda is an entrepreneurial country. So the youth are busy working, generating, having ideas, and we are there to support those ideas, to develop them so that they can run successful enterprises. So are the women. I think in this country there is a terminology say abayirivi. The women are abayirivi, and we know that as they do that, all they are looking for is for the continuity of their businesses. And as a bank, again, we commit that we are there to make sure that their enterprises are supported, not just financially, but as well as on the knowledge side, guiding them on how well they can run those enterprises. If you talk about the rural communities, again, we are there, we are everywhere, not just through the branch network, but also through the mobile, through the agents, and now we have even Gonza Pay, for even those who are not have accounts with us. So we are everywhere. It's our bank, and our bank is everywhere. And those who are looking for secure financial solutions, places where they will bank their money and they know it is safe. The regulator is not going to wake up and say, this bank doesn't have your money. So we will make sure that there's continuity in delivering the financial inclusion that we have promised, and reaching out to all those segments of the market and delivering on their promise. At all the touch points, at our branches, and if they feel that it's something we are not delivering, we are open, the doors are open. They should come and let us know that there's something that they are missing, so that we're able to give it, because innovation is part of what we do, and we will work around to ensure that whatever is missing is delivered.
Okay, interesting. I remember I saw my friend Rashid there in long time ago. I think I've since forgotten, when we were opening the Forest Mall branch, the luxury branch, Mm-hmm. And I remember us having the conversation of, we thought the bank is for normal people. Why are you, And he said that we are tired of growing customers and supporting them and getting them to reach somewhere, only for the other banks to come and, So we are now evolving to be able to serve the needs, all the needs end to end. And my question for me right there is that sometimes when you get too big, there's a temptation to be proud, to change places where you've been eating, to go to other places and change your kids to other schools. And I know, of course, there must have been a briefing between, the new management and Fabian. Just let us, on the small secret, when you are briefing him in terms of what were those things you told him about, what must not change about the soul of the institution, that you told him, if I were you, this I wouldn't change. Thank you.
Well, I didn't tell him not to change anything. I didn't tell him not to change anything because, and the only thing, what I told him is that, of course, he's coming in as a leader in his own right. He has his own aspirations, he has his own perspective of things, but of course the institution remains the same. It remains with the same vision, it remains with the same aspirations, same shareholders who had a vision of setting it up for it to be able to do that particular purpose which he has been talking about. So being himself doing the way things he thinks need to be done, as long as it is achieving that vision, that mission, that's all that matters. And being original is usually very good than being an imitation. So he doesn't have to copy anything. He should be able to do things in his own way. In any case, he has a very big, great team of people behind with whom we've been working, and it is the same team that is going to continue working with. Customers remain the same, shareholders remain the same, regulators are the same. So you'll see how you'll be able to drive things to ensure that the institution continues to grow.
And what I must say as we wind up this part of the conversation, for the media who have any questions, you can be parking them. Please also make sure when you ask, don't ask what we have already asked here, so that we save each other's time. Maybe it's time to hear from Godfrey in terms of usually when there is a change, there's a bit of anxiety. So, as a form of reassurance for the stakeholders out there, what would you love to tell them?
Yeah, I think as I've mentioned earlier, is that I'm taking over an institution that is already progressing with a strong foundation. Mm-hmm. But more important is that the institution has built a trust. And I must say that trust you have with the institution will continue, because we determine to ensure that we deliver on whatever we have promised. So there is, to the customers, please expect continued and improved service. To the regulators, we know the risks, and we have clear risk frameworks, and the team is competent. So again, our commitment is that we'll continue to manage all the risks and also ensure that the governance continues to be strong. We have the shareholders. The shareholders is about sustainability. So there's commitment to sustain the operations of the institution, because we have a good foundation, and we are going to continue to ensure that there is sustainability and the shareholders' value is protected. Because the customers, and we assure you that we'll continue to be your bank. The bank that is committed to what internally we call mission critical. That is, we committed to agriculture, we committed to support SMEs, we are committed to supporting the microfinance businesses. We are also committed to the environment. But above all, we are committed to the country, Uganda. And now we're talking about the ATM strategy and those sectors that are critical to the development of the economy. They are dear to our heart, and we have incorporated them into our strategy. And we commit that, yes, we'll make sure that we work with government to support those sectors of the economy that are dear. Of course, we have the internal community, the people, the staff. We've worked together, and they know me, and I've not changed for the 3 years I've been away. So it's about open communication, it's about teamwork, it's about working together to deliver what has been entrusted as stewards of the institution. Of course, we have other partners that we work with, and again, the commitment is continued collaboration. because together we are there to make sure that whatever we've agreed to pursue together for the betterment of the people that we serve is delivered. So that will also continue. So I think those are the key. And, well, for all the Ugandans, to all the Ugandans, this is your bank. And we are committed to ensure that we deliver financial solutions to you. If it is something that we have not been able to provide and you feel it is necessary, please come to us. Our doors are open. It's not just the head office. We wherever you go and it's branded Centenary Bank, give them the feedback that you want to deliver to us. We shall pick it and we shall make sure that it's addressed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that reassurance. I think it goes a long way and deep way to know that we're in good hands. Maybe as we close this part of the conversation, for me, and I mean, I'm so passionate about leadership, and usually I've seen everybody talk about the 10x, growth strategy, 500 billion, but we don't tend to talk about the leadership, the kind of leadership that Uganda will need to take us from that perspective. And I know for you, Fabian, having led this bank for these 16 years, you've interfaced with so many people, you've made many decisions, including very hard ones, and met so many leaders, had very many conversations. What is that lesson that you take away? In Uganda, okay, in Runyankwe they say Ntanda, but I also in Uganda it's called Ntanda. What Ntanda would you like to package for the leaders out there who want to hear from you? And I'm sure there's lots of other leaders who are keen on knowing what is that one lesson you leave behind for other leaders that, not that you're going away, I know you've been nearby, but what is that message you like to share with other leaders out there?
Well, leadership is a responsibility. Leadership is also an honor, at the same time a challenge. And it is important to take those three things, very seriously, because at the end of the day, once you are given a responsibility to lead, everybody looks to you for direction, for solutions, for making sure that everybody progresses. So as leaders, the key thing that we need to generate at any one time is the trust among the people that we lead. People need to trust us. If they don't trust us, they won't follow us. So it is important that we enlist trust from the people that we lead. We also need to ensure that we understand the aspirations of the people that we lead, so as to be able to know how to support them, so as to know what to delegate to them, how they need to benefit. Because at the end of the day, it is a given. It should be a win-win situation. The people you lead need to feel that they are benefiting from your leadership. And you as a leader also need to ensure that the team, is moving in the direction that makes everybody happy. So learning their needs, their aspirations, being able to be trusted, but also above all to know that as a leader, you're also supposed to keep learning. You must be a student all the time because things keep changing. Yeah, and leading a diverse group like ours at the bank, over 3,400 people of different generations. We have the Gen Zs, we have the baby boomers, we have the people the older than you who may be the leader. So being able to lead all of them needs a lot of investment in understanding them and being able to ensure that they all feel they are part of the team, to be able to move as a team and deliver on what is supposed to be delivered on.
Right, thank you very much. And I think, right, as you said, once you're a leader, you don't have kuliaza manya the people that you represent. And since I've been chosen as a journalist to represent the journalist side, I don't want to make them feel like they've been, I have taken all the time. Maybe now I should open up the floor so that if they have any other question that they would like to ask, especially about Godfrey or from Godfrey, this should be the time. You raise your hand, you say your name and the media house you work with, and then you can shoot your question. And I think we can be taking 3 sets, and then we can proceed. We'll do like 2 rounds, and then we will close. Okay?
Good morning. My name is Sandra Kahonde from UBC TV. I'm glad that with the change and the transition is coming at a good time. Like you earlier on mentioned, that usually when change comes, it's for something bad, when there's something bad that has been happening, and change has to take course. But the good thing, there is no anxiety that no one is going to lose a job, not like where I come from, where I have to be worried even when they change the minister. So my question to the incoming leader, which aspects of Mr. Kase's leadership and legacy do you intend to preserve? And after letting us know your strategic directions, want to know the legacy that you'll have to preserve. And to the outgoing, looking back at your tenure, what key institutional reforms or investments do you believe have positioned Centenary Bank for its next phase of growth? Thank you very much.
Should I or I wait?
Maybe let's take the next 2 questions, and then you can answer the set. Thank you.
Yes, good morning. My name is Paul Murungi. I am a business journalist with the CI East Africa magazine, the leading business publication in East Africa.
I agree.
Godfrey, it's a pleasure to meet you again, but this time I'm meeting you physically. I interviewed you for the CFO Awards, I think around 2022. By then you were the CFO here and the general manager. Then I heard that my friend had left to Malawi. I think now I think for 3 years. I'd like to know from Malawi, what do you have for us returning after 3 years? And I want to frame that question in a way that after serving in Malawi and gaining broader regional banking experience, what fresh perspectives are you bringing back home, and how will that influence your strategy to sail the ship faster? Thank you.
Maybe I'm thinking since the 2 journalists had loaded questions, we first take those 2, and then we can do another round. I think over to you, Godfrey.
Yes, thank you very much for these 2 good questions. I think, yes, about what needs to be preserved. Well, I think as Fabian has said, it's not about the individuals. It's not about him as Fabian. It's about the institution. But definitely, as he has also said, that he's given us a Ntanda, as he said, that leadership is about influencing people. It's about getting things done. It's about making decisions. So those are, the traits, the things that I've learned from him, and the things that I need to follow. Because whereas they appear to be general and maybe sometimes taken to be obvious because they are written in many books, the practice tends to be different, and sometimes we fail to deliver on those. So for me, as learning from him, the things I would like to say is, being able to ask the right questions, being able to make decisions, being able to challenge the team so that we can execute strategy, being able to collaborate with all the stakeholders so that we can deliver the mission and vision together, being able to listen to everyone so that we support each other and make the right decisions, being able to communicate effectively because as a leader, I need to be reaching out to everybody, not just the staff, but also to the wider community. So those are, things that I would like to make sure that I carry with me and ensure that the ship continues to sail successfully. And yes, to my friend from the CEO East Africa Magazine, yeah, you reminded me that yes, we had that conversation many years ago. And I think if it's just to, I'll stick to one perspective, and that is the issue of people, the perspective of people. Of course, I went to Malawi and found a different culture, but also found an institution that was loss-making for some time. But also, there were also integrity issues with it. And yet, I was the only new person. And I had to work with the team I found. You cannot just wake up and say, all of you go home. They'll take you to court in the first place. But you also cannot work alone. You need people. So for me, the value of people and building a shared mission and vision with them, shared purpose, is very important. Because I had to introduce a new culture, the Centec Group culture. But I also had to realign the direction of the institution. And we had to, I could not do that alone. I had to sit down with the team to say, what is the problem? And how do we address that problem? So I had to first of all understand them, but also connect with them. I left when they thought that I knew all of them by name. Well, I possibly knew about 80% by name, especially our head office. It was 100%, but that meant that they felt I'm part of them. And with that connectedness, with that clear vision and clear purpose, we started on the journey. And the story has been written that we started growth, we made profits for all the 3 years, yet in the previous years there were losses. So to me, it is that issue about people, understanding them, connecting with them, and building a common purpose so that you can deliver the strategy. Thank you.
Thank you. I think there's a question for Fabian. On what investments have you made that you're confident are going to take us to the next Sanja?
No, thank you. Thank you very much. The biggest asset that any institution, and of course this bank has, is the people. So the bank has invested quite heavily and richly in people. That's why you have, a big team that has ensured that this institution continues to grow and growing in a sustainable manner. So the bank has invested quite heavily and continues. I'm sure it will continue to invest in the people. The bank has also invested in technology, again, quite heavily. Sometime back, probably people wouldn't use various channels to access services, but now you can use your phone to be able to access whatever services you want from the bank. You can approach the almost 10,000 agents we have across the country and be served. At the moment, the bank is implementing a robust core banking system, which we hope will be up and running by the end of this year, beginning of next year. And because it has been realized that if we are to successfully continue to serve our customers with the many small transactions, we need to automate. And that's why there has been that investment in technology. Of course, a lot of investment has also been done in the area of systems and processes. With the many areas where we operate, you need process. Everybody knows what to do when, if you do this, this is what happens, and so on. And quite a lot has been invested in that area. And we believe that those three key things are the drivers for the progress and the growth of this institution. And if the institution continues to invest in them, there's no doubt that greater heights will be achieved.
Thank you very much, Fabian. I think if there is one takeaway I get from here is people, people, people. And no wonder I remember when I did the interview with the HR manager, she kept on saying that Centenary Bank Muzade, she's a parent, it takes care of its people. So I take that seriously. Do you have any
If I may also add, actually this institution has contributed quite heavily to the labor industry in this country. Wherever you go, you'll find alumni of this institution. If you look at all the banks across, there are so many people that have trained here and have gone on to do, bigger things in those institutions. We have our executive directors. They were here before. They went, did bigger things wherever they went, and now they are back as executives to the institution. And it is happening across. So I think the institution, as an institution, we are proud and we've contributed to the growth of labor and skills in this country.
We must thank you for being a good teacher. And for the gentleman who just came back home, no, but I think Joseph has been around for some time, and Michael just came recently after taking a tour of duty, and now Godfrey is also coming home. So I hope I'll also be coming home soon. Since me, I'm a Catholic, so I've been moving around. So yeah, of course. Okay, cool. So do we have other questions from the media? Okay.
There's some 3 questions here.
Okay, let's take those 3 questions, and I think we can begin wrapping up. Yeah, because we need to be out of here by 10:20.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ali Toha from New Vision, the leading daily. Let me add that. Thank you very much for the presentations about the bank. And I'm a customer. And for the last 16 years, I would say I've not had issues with my bank account. We've had those stories, people claiming this and that, but I would testify I've not had any issue with the bank and your leadership. So over the years, we've seen also the list of shareholding on the bank, I think, expand a bit. And what I would want to know is, because different shareholders will come in with a vision that they would have. So as the MD, how did you, manage those interests they are in? And recently I also read there were plans to offload about 5 to 10% of the shareholding. Is it coming from the trusts or those shareholders on the list who want to exit through the public market? Just shed a bit of light on those boardroom engagements you had. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is El Cheune from Radio 1. And just for clarity, for Mr. Godfrey, who is the incoming, we broadcast from the heart of Kampala, very near here. Since you've been away, I can give you direction. Maybe you forgot where you can find that. After Cham, you will help me to get a photo with him. It will be a collateral Yeah, I want to have a loan. I didn't get one when Fabian was there. I didn't have the collateral because I don't have a photo with Fabian. Anyway, Mr. Bikwaso, how did you receive the news of being the incoming, and what exactly inspired you to go for it, knowing that you fit into the shoes of Fabian? And how often do such changes happen at Centenary Group or Centenary Bank? I mean, how long is the tenure or short the tenure? You're coming in, you know, I feel that bad when I come to a bank and there's nothing figure talked about. You will correct me. Centenary Bank has approximately, you can correct me, 3.4 million customers. What do you intend to do for growth from the 3.4 million customers to improve? Then you are coming in, back in the days, my father used to say, Ngenda Mururo Bank. I don't know even where that died off, Centenary Road Vomit Bank. Thank you. We are part of those who made the expansion to have that inclusivity in line with digital. But now there is a case, increased case of cases of cyber fraud. I can be specific. What do you intend to do about such cases? I think Centenary Bank opened up its 81st branch in Bulisa. I think it has to do with oil and gas. What do you have in the box in line with oil and gas in relation to Centenary Bank? Thank you.
Hey, very many loaded questions. If Kwetega was a person, it would be Eddie. Yeah, but yeah. So I think let's have Godfrey shoot. Eh?
We have one last one.
Oh,
The very last one. Yeah.
The very last one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning. Titus Jemba from BBS TV. As you are outgoing, I congratulate you for the 16 years of in service. My boss, Dr. Fabian Kasi. And I do appreciate your work. Indeed, I love the Centenary Bank most because of the services that you delivered. To the incoming, I welcome you, Omukungu Biekwaso. My question is all about the SMEs. I always cover my news downtown there in traders, but the most issue that they raise is about the interest rate being very high in commercial banks. With Centenary Bank is in between 18 to 22, or else you clarify that. As the new MD, the incoming MD, what are your strategies that you are going to make the interest rate go down, but not raising the bankers' risk? Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for these wonderful questions. I think, yes, starting off with Mr. Twa from the New Vision. The shareholding of the bank. First of all, just to clarify that we have Centenary Group, and below Centenary Group we have Centenary Bank, we have Centenary Bank in Malawi, we have Centenary Technology Services, we have a foundation, and many more that are in the pipeline. So as a bank, we are owned by the Centenary Group, and then the Episcopal Conference of Uganda. Those are the shareholders. So talking about the shareholding numbers and the changes, those changes are not happening at the Centenary Bank Uganda level. Those changes are happening at the Centenary Group, and then the group owns the bank. So that is how our shareholding structure is. And even if there are changes, shareholding structure changes at the group, there are no plans for the changes in the shareholding of the bank. It is still intact, and that is not being discussed at the bank board. And in terms of maybe just the issue about and you can, I don't want to speak on behalf of the group, but yes, the group would like to expand beyond Uganda, and also want to do more, and that will require more resources, and that may call for opening up to other shareholders. But we also know that the market has also been waiting to have a interest in what Centenary Group has done in the country, and that's why the consideration for listing are being discussed. About when and what percentages, that is still too early to put out. In terms of the in terms of, I think that was it from you, Mr. Twaha. I don't know whether I missed. Okay. 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 I think Fabian, you respond to that. But let me move to Mr. Cheyune's questions. They're quite a number. First of all, I don't think I qualify as collateral. Our general manager credit is here, and I'm certain he doesn't have one of the photo of the MD of Centenary Bank as a requirement for collateral. But yes, I still know where Radio 1 is located, the heart of Kampala, because we've been. It is still speaking to us, our age, and I know on Sunday I tune in, especially on Sunday, to listen to the oldies music. So don't worry, I've not lost touch with the radio. Okay, in terms of how I received the news and what inspired me to apply for this role, well, it is just like asking, we often get this question from our spouses when they ask that, do you love me? Well, you're also asking the obvious, that receiving such a news is always exciting. Okay, so I received the news with excitement, and it was such a process of getting the final clearance from the Bank of Uganda, and I kept asking, following up, because that period has a bit of anxiety. And when finally you get the clearance, yes, then you start thinking about the fit to say, yes, how will I be received, and how will I deliver on the commitments that I've made? Because at the interview, definitely you make commitments. So this is what I bring, and therefore the journey starts. So yes, there's excitement, and then there is also the starting the planning for the journey ahead. And in terms of what inspired me to go for the job, first of all, well, I ticked the boxes for the qualification, because there were requirements for the job, and those I would fit in. But more important is that because I felt confident that I knew the institution that I was going to work with. I'd been here for over 10 years. I knew the people. I know the culture. I know the business model. I know the market. So that really gave me the confidence that I am the right person for this role. And indeed, the board found it right, and they offered me the opportunity. And I'm sure that I will not disappoint them for the choice they made, because, you know, I understand the institution, I understand the people. I'm sure they have not changed. I understand the culture, I understand the market, but also have the leadership abilities to lead the institution. The other questions, yes, it's true that we have 3.4 million customers, and your question is, how do I intend to grow, or how do we intend? Because it's not just about me, it's about all of us at the bank. I think first of all, it's first issue is the retention, making sure that we retain the 3.4. I think that what we've picked recently is that they call it protecting the gains. So first of all, we have to protect the gains. We have to retain what we have. And two, we have the unbanked population is quite big in Uganda. And that means there is potential for growth. What we have to do is to understand why those people are not banked. And we innovate and provide the solution and attract them into the market. As I said earlier, we've already started on giving them something that will attract them to get in, the Gonza Pay solution, which it serves the non-customers as well. And once they get that bite and they taste the sweetness of the bank, I'm sure they will get in. So those are the two things really, to say how retaining the existing customers and looking for the unbanked and making sure that we tailor our services to what they need and they get in. The issue of cyber security and the frauds, especially because we're dealing with we are still rural based. The name is not there because of what Cham said, that when you opened up the Forest Mall, we still wanted to make sure that we grow with our clients and continue to serve them even when we become bigger. But we still a rural bank because we look for the rural clients. And yes, there's something unique about the rural clients. You know, when you give them a card, the ATM card, they'll go celebrate and show it to everybody, not knowing that when you show both sides of that card, you have exposed your money. So that is one of the things that we are really focusing on, to appreciate that the cybersecurity is real. And internally, we shall do everything because the solutions are there, the technology is there that helps to to manage the cyber security. And we have invested in that technology, and we'll continue to invest in that technology. But after investing in the technology, we have to look at the customers and make them aware that people will call them, they will visit them, and they will convince them that they can grow their money faster, or they can access the money faster, and in that way they might lose their money. So we invest in awareness. We invest in awareness to our customers to make sure that they know what is wrong out there and how they can lose their money. But also we continue to inculcate the values in our people, especially the value of integrity and professionalism. Because some of the frauds that happen in institutions are actually are supported by we the insiders. And it happens when people lose those two values, integrity and professionalism. So those are values we continue to push, but also making sure that when we find you and you've been part of the racket, we don't tolerate your being in the bank. So that is what we will continue to do in order to make sure that cyber security and cyber fraud is prevented or minimized. Yes, we have a branch in Bulisa, and we have our support to the oil and the gas sector. It's not, the sector is big, and it's not just about the CNOOC and the Total and those guys who are doing the drilling and putting the oil on the pipeline. It's about the entire value chain. We know there are SMEs out there, the transporters. We know there are employees in there. There are people who are, delivering services. So we recognize that the government has invested in that sector, and in our effort to support the economy, as I mentioned earlier, we also have to participate. And our participation is not limited to the big players. It's really looking at the entire value chain and the SMEs and the micro enterprises that play in that space. I think finally is from Titus to the SMEs and the interest rates. Interest rates are a function of many variables. One of them is the cost of delivering the credit, and the other is the cost of the money. And when we get money at the right price, we pass it on to the borrowers at the right price. You know that we have credit that we delivered at 10% because we've got the money at a low cost. We also, because of our operations, we've been able to, cushion and continue to improve on our efficiency and lowering our cost of doing business. And that, again, those benefits are passed on to the borrowers, and we'll continue to make sure that happens. Of course, one other issue is about the risk. Those customers that we consider to be risky also are priced at slightly higher. So the SMEs, please tell them they should honor their obligations and they pay on time. And as they improve their repayments, we also lower the interest rates, because then we know the risk of giving them the money is lower, and it should therefore come through in reduced interest rates. And as I said, we cannot grow the economy when we've not looked into the cost of the money to this. And it's something that we will deliberately look at and change based on those parameters. Thank you.
Okay, I think Fabian, you can handle the last bit.
Yeah, the last one. Thank you very much. How have we been able to balance interests of our shareholders? Our shareholders have the same interests. They are like-minded. Their interest is financial inclusion. Are we doing financial inclusion? What sort of impact do our services give to the customers that we deal with? Are we inclusive? Are we dealing with the previously, excluded sections of the population, the youth, the women, the refugees? And of course, ultimately, once we do all that, are we protecting the environment? Those are their interests. And of course, at the end of the day, what is the return on their investment? Basically, those are the interests. And once we've been able to deliver on them, then their interests are managed. And however diverse they may be, we are able to meet their interests. If you can also allow me to probably thank the media, because today has been a function to unveil our new leader, the new MD. For me, I can only say thank you for having been, because you are our mouthpiece. You've been amplifying the messages of the bank over the last couple of years that we've been in charge, and you've done it very well. You've been very good at asking me so many questions. From today, I want to tell you that the man on the stage is him. So direct all your questions to him, because he's the one in charge. So I want to thank you very much, and goodbye.
All right, thank you very much, Fabian. I must say on a personal note that Fabian, I think, has been very open to the media. And as in my other world, I also do marketing and communications consulting. And I must say, Godfrey, and of course, Godfrey, you always respond to my messages. But I think the media are always nice to you when you're nice to them. And we don't really want much. We want you to be there for us when we need them. And also, one other lesson I have learned, by the way, contrary to what most people fear, we are also human beings. And when things go wrong, you sometimes need to tell us and say, okay, things have gone wrong, here's what we are trying to correct. But sometimes people avoid us, and sometimes we're under pressure by our editors. And I think when God was creating journalists, he thought about our problems, and he allowed us to say, I reached out to the bank, but it had not commented by the time I went to press. So I said, so then you can have the freedom to say whatever you want to say, and sometimes it's not good when things are not. So I think Fabian has been good, of course, supported by Beatrice, Alan, Emma, and the rest of the team. So we thank you very much for being there, and we certainly look forward to continue telling this story. And in my powers as an ex-seminarian, I would like to invoke God to go ahead of you, Fabian, and behind you and protect you, because you've led us well. May he lead you well. And also, I'm invoking God to come upon you, Godfrey. May you continue to lead us well, because when you do, the lives of the over 3,000 staff, the 3.4 million customers, and by extension, the wider ecosystem of stakeholders will also be with benefit. And for listening to me on my first journey as a moderator, I thank you all, guys. And yeah, great. So I would like to end this function, but we believe that Emma is coming to take over. My job is done. I've just emailed you the invoice. Thank you for the opportunity, Emma.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
A big round of applause. Cham, this was a very good job you've done. What we've listened to is, you'd call it a masterclass in leadership. We have heard from the best of the best. We've heard from the leaders, stewards, captains. I would like to believe that between the two of them, there is probably close to 50 years of leadership experience. I think we should clap for that.
And also a lot of money.
If Kwetega was a person, Cham Kwetega would be Cham. Again, I would like to thank everyone who is here today. The media, we appreciate you for making it here today, for being our mouthpiece. What we've had is a reiteration that this is just change. which is inevitable. Change has to happen. This is planned change. Change is happening not because something bad has happened. This is change that has been planned. It is a peaceful transition of duty, not of power. Yeah, but we would like to thank all of you. And maybe before we close this session, I think it's just fair that we probably will ask the incoming and outgoing MDs to sort of summarize what is happening here in Luganda version for the other listeners who listen to Luganda. And maybe to start with you, Dr. Fabian Kasi, you could just summarize for us in Luganda what is happening here today. Oh, I should have said that in Luganda. But you're very welcome, MD.
Nze nsinga okwogera Oluganda. No, olwaleero tuli wano bannamawulire bannaffe okubanjulira omukulembeze omujja agenda okulembera bank ne ttiimu yonna. Mubadde era tubamanyi muli b'amaanyi, mwe mutuyambako okutwala eddoboozi n'ekifaananyi kye tuli, era ekyo mukikoze mu myaka gye tubaddewo. Twagala okubeebaza nga tubanjulira omukulembeze omupya. Twagala mwongere kukolagana naye mu ngeri y'emu nga bwe mbadde mukolagana naffe, ali ne ttiimu yonna ebaddewo nga tukola emirimu egyatuweebwa. Tubeebaziza nnyo era tusuubira nti mujja kuwagira banka eno n'okutuusa ku bakasitomazi baffe ebyo bye tukola mu bulambulukufu, kubanga lako bwesigwa trust kye kikulu ennyo, era ku buli lwe wabeerawo ekintu ekimalawo obwesigwa kukola. Kale twagala mwongere okutuusa obwesigwa bwaffe eri abakasitomazi baffe n'okubeebaza okubeera nti naffe ne tutuuka we tutuuse. Byebyo bye tubaddeko olwaleero. Simanyi oba Godfrey oyinza okwongerako nawe.
Weebale nnyo mukulu Kasi. Yes, nga babannyonnyodde, nze ndi musanyufu okubeera nti nyaniriziddwa mu Centenary Bank, era mukolo gwe tuliko gwebaza abaguteeseteese okulaba nti nsobodde okwogerako ne bannamawulire kuva mu media houses ez'enjawulo, era nibeebaza nti nno mubaddewo naffe nga Centenary Bank, era mbasaba nti twongere okukolaganira awamu okulaba nti banka tugitumbula, okulaba nti mutuusa amawulire amatuufu eri bonna betukolagana nabo, okulaba nti obuvunaanyizibwa bwe tweyama nga banka okuwa abantu oba okubeera nti tuli banka yaabwe era banka etuuka buli wamu tubutuukiriza, era wetuli okubeera nti no tuwuliriza bye musase okuva eyo ebikwatagana ku bank, okulaba nti no tubigonjoola bwe biba nga si birungi, era n'okulaba nti tutambula wamu nammwe okubunyisa obuweereza bwa banka eri buli omu. So mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala okujja okubeera wamu naffe. Bannayuganda tubategeeza nti no ekiri baddewo kukyusa bukulembeze nesi kukyusa nkola ya banka. Banka yammwe genda maaso n'okola emirimu gyayo, era ffenna bwe tuli era tubakakasa nti n'obuweereza bwe tubaweereza bujja kugenda maaso, bujja kwongera okula era okugaziwa nga tuyita mu mikutu egy'enjawulo. Gye mumanyi abazze mu branches zaffe gye tuli, abagenze ku mobile gye tuli, abazze mu agent baffe gye tuli, era abagala okugenda mu byuma ebya ATM nayo gye tuli. Tubakakasa nti no bank ejja kweyongera era egenda maaso okulaba nti obuweereza bwayo bweyongera okubeera obwettutumu era obulungi nga bwe mubusuubira. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala.
Nange nga moderator byonna nzikirizagana nabyo.
All right, thank you very much. We've come to the end of today's engagement. Thank you very much, and I wish you the very best of the rest of the day. You're welcome.